You know how there are a bunch of solitaire games you can play with a deck of cards, like, well, solitaire. As it happens, mahjong tiles don't just have to be used to play mahjong, which is a relief to me because even after 6 or 7 video reviews of the game, I'm still not 100% certain I understand it completely. Mahjong Solitaire, or Shanghai, looks like something that has a history steeped in tradition or something like that, but it was actually created in 1981 by one Brody Lockhart and was popular on early computers. It's a really simple premise. Each of the 144 tiles in a traditional mahjong set must be removed by pairing it with one that's identical to it. The tiles are arranged in an animal formation that vaguely represent one from the Chinese zodiac. You'll need to stretch your imagination somewhat, similar to the way the astrological zodiac things look nothing like their namesakes. You remove tiles by picking them up essentially, but can only do so if at least one of the tile's vertical sides are completely exposed, i.e. not touching another tile, although horizontal is fine, and that there's nothing sat on top of them. By removing outer and upper tiles, you clear the way for ones lower down until there are none left. While the patterns are standard, the actual tile arrangements within that shape are random, so sometimes, much like solitaire, not every configuration is solvable. There's a bit more strategy here though, as most mahjong tiles come in groups of 4, meaning there are 2 pairs for each design. You often find yourself having to choose which ones to remove. For example, if 3 of the same tile are takeable, try to figure out which are the most beneficial to remove straight away, or which ones you might be punished for leaving behind. If one of the tiles will soon be accessible after a few moves anyway, it might be best to leave it where it is. Also, you don't have to immediately remove a pair if it looks like other matches will unlock soon. As long as there's another move you're able to do, you can just leave them. Most tile matches are self-explanatory because they look the same. However, 2 groups of tiles look different from each other but can still be matched. These are the flower tiles and the season tiles, which have unique designs on. The pixel art in this game isn't amazing, but still they're easy enough to distinguish. You may have to look them up at first, or just trial and error it, but then you're not punished for clicking on non-matching pairs, so it doesn't really matter. If you get to what's called a deadlock, i.e. there are no more available moves, you can either reverse your previous move, start again, or shuffle the remaining tiles, so theoretically you should be able to get through the game fairly regularly. Should you win, you get a nice graphic, and there are around 6 or 7 different layouts to play. So yeah, a pretty simple game, but like any good procrastination tool, it's very addictive. There are several different game modes. Classic mode is the one you'll gravitate towards most, as is normal for this sort of thing, and it's your standard style of gameplay that just goes on until you either clear everything or there are no more available moves. Tournament mode has 12 continuous stages that you need to progress through. It's a one-shot thing though. If you can't move anymore, it's a game over and you start again from the first one, and also each stage has a time limit that ticks down, so you now also have to make your decisions quickly. A nice addition if you're a pro, but a bit stressful. What's less of a nice addition is this innovation, quote-unquote, called Dynasty mode. Here you're playing against an opponent and need to quickly make clearances while also using these power tiles to hinder the other player. You're able to shuffle the opponent's board, reverse the direction their cursor moves, which of course doesn't hamper the computer player at all, turn over their visible tiles, and even return some pairs back to the layout. This mode is simply not that much fun because of the unbalanced AI that can simply make decisions much quicker than you and never struggles with the imprecise targeting of tiles like you will. If you play this mode more than once, I'd be very surprised, and honestly the game doesn't need it, as it's an inherently single-player experience anyway. Overall, Shanghai Mini is nothing flashy in any way, but fulfills the brief. I've always enjoyed the game, and there's enough variation in this version of it to remain fairly good fun that you'll probably revisit every now and then to waste some time.